Hey, Wes, it's Roger.
Hey, Roger, what's up?
No, just wanted to get a quick word with you before the meeting today.
Sure.
I talked to Ken C. from the Bloomingdale Club.
Mm-hmm.
And what they're hoping to do is do a remote meeting on that date, but supply lunches. So in other words, Bloomingdale Golf Course, which is where we've held it before,
Mm-hmm.
would have box lunches available between 11 and 11:30. So those that wanted to could drive by, pick up the box lunch, go back to the office or the house, wherever you're going to do it remotely.
Okay.
And of course, at the same time, you could drop off any Toys for Tots.
That's not the worst idea.
If you're okay with that, at an announcement time, I'll announce it.
Perfect. Let's do it. Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
And then the other quick question I had for you was, we talked about this briefly before, that it would be okay for people to volunteer to be billed, and then I could take the money and buy toys on their behalf.
Yeah. So I update on that. Yeah. So hold on. Is that for Shop with a Cop?
Yeah. No, that's for Toys for Tots.
Forgive me, man. It's like the same word in my head. I apologize. So there's no reason why I couldn't. So yeah, we can do it that way if you think that's easiest. But we just did this for Shop with a Cop today, where we just created a checkout link, basically the same as we do with
whatever's easiest. So how does that work? So a checkout link, and then they deposit money.
So you've paid Happy Dollars and Fines. That'd be exactly like that.
Exactly like that. And then when it came time for me to be reimbursed, I would just spend money and then turn in a receipt to treasurer. Or how would I?
That sounds right to me. Yeah, I would follow that process, and I will make sure.
How would I know how much money had been collected?
Just ask the question when we shut it down. So the question is, I guess, what's the time frame on this? Because what I don't want to do is get it confused with what we're doing today, which is for Shop with the Cops.
Well, I mean, the time frame is to have is for November 20. Hold on, I turned the page. November 20.
So if we did it over the next meeting or two meetings,
I could talk about it then. I could, yeah.
Well, let's talk about it today, and so I can create that link. I think that's just easier, Roger, than having to have people like send you checks. Yeah, this.
I want to do it the easiest way. So,
yeah.
You'll create the link and send it to me, and then I'll put it on the email that I send out.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay.
Perfect.
Sounds good. All right.
Cool. All right. See you later.
Bye.
Hey, Mr. Komisik, look who it is. How's it going,
Sorry.
Bill?
How are you?
All right, how are you? Nice to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks. Where's everybody?
I know.
It's 3 minutes to 12.
I know. Well, we gavel in at 12:15. I've been doing this like opening the meeting up a little early so people can come and
Yeah.
commiserate and beforehand. So you're early, but if you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. If you're late, don't bother coming. Right?
Right. So Lyle was telling me you just finished some multi-million-dollar job in the city, or?
We just finished a massive job in the city that was just under $1 million. Yeah, actually two
Wow.
of them. Which is kind of heartbreaking a little bit because I really liked those people's money a lot.
Uh-huh.
But we're in this kind of weird period where like we got project starts that keep getting delayed. We got one right over here on the lakeshore that we can't start until we know when the cabinets are going to be there on site. We're doing a kitchen there, okay? We're using a place called Amish Custom Cabinets to do the kitchen for this place. And we just had to delay the job by 2 weeks because we just found out that Amish Custom Kitchens just had a COVID outbreak in their facility. So now I got to put my projects on pause. My guys have to stay home, get paid, and I'm not getting paid. And it's a incredible thing because it's so out of our control and it just stinks. There's just nothing you can do. I mean, I can't go to his house and start a project and then have to pull off and leave him without a kitchen for a couple of weeks,
Yeah. So where is Amish? Is that in Indiana?
They are up north.
Are they?
In Illinois, yeah. Mm-hmm. I want to say it's with. I don't know. I've not been to their actual location. But they're,
Do you pick the mills that do that, or?
Correct. Yeah, we got different mill workers that we work with, ranging from bigger operation Amish custom cabinets all the way down to a guy who has a shop who we keep busy like indefinitely. We keep just going. Yeah, and we, depending on price, depending on what kind of quality someone wants to pay for or go with, we can go with any one of those kind of four places, or even higher than those. But a lot of remodeling companies just rep like one cabinet line or something like that. We're a little bit more flexible and freewheeling.
Yeah, my brother-in-law owns a mill in Salem, Ohio. Salem Mills,
wow.
It's called, and he does a lot of industrial work, a lot of hospitals, schools, stuff like that.
Oh, that's cool. Right. Hopefully he's making good.
Yeah, he's doing well.
Hey, Julie.
Hey Wes. Hey Daryl.
Hey Glenn. Hey Wes. Hey Bill.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hi Bill.
I was expecting at
Be
least
careful who
somebody
you're
to
calling
have.
that name on.
I was expecting someone to have cat ears on or something like that, right? Like, I mean, someone has got to show up to this meeting with some cat ears, or like the paint on whiskers, or maybe a Batman or something. I'll be really upset with this club if we don't have anybody show up in some kind of costume.
There it is.
Go back and put on a mask.
Yeah.
Roger's got a costume on. He's going as a financial advisor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to dress up on things I hope to be someday.
Oh, Ted. We're looking for the first guy that has a costume on, Ted.
Not me.
Hey, Ted. Hey, Tom. Hey, Brian.
Hey, I'm here.
Yeah, I thought for sure Brian had had something on.
Yeah, right. Well, he is kind of spooky looking.
He's got an orange shirt on. Give him a break. I mean, it's a
that's
Halloween
true.
color.
Yeah.
Mike and Nancy. What's up, guys?
Hi.
Hi, Mike.
Hello.
Mike and I are
That's
emailing
real
back and forth right
pumpkin
now.
orange you
It
got
still
there,
works.
Brian.
I'm old school man to the left.
I was thinking maybe he was coming as Reese's Pieces.
So Mike Olak and I are emailing back and forth right now about a news story that he found about the state of Illinois keeping a secret list of COVID outbreaks and not sharing it with everyone. And Mike, what I think I saw about this is I think that those people would still be in our testing numbers, like our test positive numbers, but like not talking about where there have been outbreaks that the state of Illinois is aware of, like, you know, at your local daycare or at your local senior living home or something like that. And, yeah, not
Are
good, man.
these Russian people or?
No, I think they're taking their time.
Yeah, right. I just gonna say the same thing.
Yeah, not
Yeah,
Russian,
you can
yeah.
actually do a search. Like you could actually do a search for any keyword in that link I shot to Wes, and you can search like Schaumburg or Chandler's Golf Course or any kind of senior care center. It's pretty informative.
Back.
Tom, can you help Alan get in the meeting if you don't mind?
I'm sending him the
I'm on.
link again.
I'm on.
Thank you.
Oh, forget it.
Oh, there you go. Hey, Alan.
We
Sorry,
try, but he keeps coming on anyway.
I'm the guy that looks like me.
Well, you're just a bit dressed down today, Alan. I didn't, you know, I couldn't tell.
Yeah, no suit, no tie.
Yeah,
No
he's
court.
done with that case, so yeah.
Hallelujah.
I'm sure he's got on leggings underneath too.
As Ted will understand, it was supposed to be a 1-day trial, ended up lasting 6 days.
Can you tell us anything about it? Was it a good story, or was it just a judge being a prick and letting it go out? No?
That sentence instead of the word judge.
Yeah. Got it.
Oops. Hey, Bob.
Hey, Bob.
Hey, Bob Fleischer.
All you guys are eating right now. I am so jealous of all you eating.
That's Mr. Fleischer.
I don't know what you guys are doing. It's only 10 o'clock.
What?
What are you eating?
Pistachios.
Pistachios. Boring.
Well, good.
I did the old soup and a sandwich.
Language.
So we got done with our foundation board meeting at 11:30, and like 11:35, my stomach started to grumble just a bit, and I'm thinking, man, can I make it down to Burger King and back before this meeting starts? Like, all right, I'm gonna chance it. I'm gonna do it. So I left and I went down to Burger King. I get to Burger King, lines wrapped around the place. So hungry I go. Unfortunately, I'm sitting here thinking, like, should I order like Uber Eats in the middle of this meeting? You know, can I? Should I?
Better
What
black
the
out for a
leftover
while.
pizzas for?
Yeah.
You're gonna have to
And I
be
got-
careful because
Right.
Wes may be gone in the middle of the meeting.
Yeah. I got the hungries. I got the hungry.
If there was only a way that restaurants can get food to us in our homes without us leaving, that would be such an amazing invention. Probably $1 million idea.
Somebody should do that.
Last week, somebody rang my doorbell with a delivery of food from the Cheesecake Factory. I said, "This isn't mine." And the guy says, "Is this number 4?" I said, "Yeah, this is number 4." He said, "But it's not mine. I didn't order it." So then the guy was all flustered. He was from DoorDash, and he had already erased the address, so he didn't know where it went. So then,
How was it, Bill?
well, you know, so then the person gets a phone call from the person who was supposed to get the order, says, "Where's the order?" And he says, "Oh, well, I'm at 4, whatever." He said, "I'm at 4 Rumford, which is where I live." And he says, "Oh," he said, "Well, I'm supposed to be at 4 Pepper Hill or something." So he said, "I don't know what happened to your food." I said, "I didn't order anything." He rang my doorbell and brought this food over.
Tell him to send it to Wes.
Yeah.
Those food delivery guys are really the best among us, aren't they? They are the best and brightest. That is incredible.
Oh,
Oh
wow.
man. I had one of those weeks this week. I found so many good news stories or little tidbits to share. It was in a really otherwise crappy week. I have so many things to share that I am just going to litter our meeting today with little stories and cool tidbits and funny and videos that I'm hoping everyone's going to leave with a smile on their face today.
Well, what's the program?
Eileen is sharing with us some videos taken and about the OC, and Jean is going to be talking with us with Officer Mark about Shop with the Cop this year and how that's going to go down. So a couple
Okay.
different things. Bob, did I accurately describe that?
You did it, as always.
Okay. Thanks, Bob.
Thanks, Bob.
Good.
Yes.
Hey, Sarah. Thanks for joining us.
It was an excellent explanation. I had my question answered.
He said yes. I heard him.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Bob, what are you visiting us on? Are you on your computer? Or are you on a phone?
I'm on a laptop because my desktop blew up.
Okay. You sound a bit different this week.
Shopping around to see where I can find the best desktop. Kind of an all-in-one desktop. So,
Give me a
It's
call
really
after this.
pain in the
I'll
ass.
talk you through it. Give me a call after this.
Oh,
I'll talk you
really?
through it. It's kind of a hobby of mine.
So Bob, did it do any damage in your house when it blew up?
Glenn, it did.
Explode on the
Glenn, I was going to
walls?
call you. Glenn, I was going to call you because you have an extra $50K that I could have.
Sure,
Borrow, but have.
sure.
So how about $50K?
No problem.
But we're family now.
Yeah, I know. My guy will come over with no nose and you'll sign the papers.
Okay then.
See how business is done through Rotary?
I see how Chicago business is done.
Steve Lamp joining us today through a cloud of cigar smoke, looking wonderful.
Gotta dirty up the
Regal.
windows. The windows just got washed. Gotta clean them up and get them dirty again.
Yeah, I'm not going to have one till later.
Hey, how many times you got to replace those ceiling tiles with that cigar smoke?
Don't have to replace them. I got an exhaust fan. Goes right to the AC.
We think that smoke's going. Look at there it goes right on up.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. 5 more minutes, get a couple more folks in here, and we'll get started. Are the Bears going to win on Sunday? Are the Bears going to Saints, I think, aren't they?
Yes.
That's a tough one. Drew Brees
I was
is good.
surprised how many of the pundits actually picked the Bears.
For this coming Sunday? I didn't know
Yeah.
that they did. Oh, wow. Huh. They know we don't. They saw the game on Monday.
Wait, but they think New Orleans is also vastly overrated.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah,
Anyone watch the
Monday
World-
night was a night of deep depression at the Groenwald estate.
Ooh. It was bad. They were just bad.
They stunk.
Ugh. Well, they finally played a good team, right?
In my estimation, they need to have a bad offensive line for the next 2 years so that they can draft a 6'6", 310-pound offensive lineman out of Upper Iowa University.
And bred in the area.
Know anybody?
There might be 1 or 2 guys that could fit that bill.
Here he's a beast in the weight room.
don't understand.
Hey, Bob Keller.
Hello, Daryl. Everybody looks so serious today. What's going on?
Well, they just got talking about the Bears, so
That's not being serious. Now everybody's depressed because Pat had to bring that up. So
Hey, you know, I don't know why you people are belly aching about the Bears. Remember where I grew up, we didn't have a professional football team.
Didn't you go to Mumford High or something like that?
That's right. So Detroit has this thing called the Lions, who've won one playoff game in 52 years.
Wow. That's not too bad.
Stat.
Hey Jack, how many points you gonna give me for Saturday? You're muted.
Tongue tied.
Jack, you're muted.
Trying to get some excitement going here, Wes.
Yeah, I was wondering who was playing Thunderstruck.
You're still muted, Jack.
Let's see, can I unmute Jack? I can't see Jack. Hi, Mary. Thanks for joining us today. Hey, Rosemary. How you doing?
Good to be here.
Hey, Daryl, how you doing, man?
All right.
How's Arizona?
I had to mute it. Sorry, bud.
wonderful. Be 85 today.
You talking about your temperature or your age, Daryl?
Well, that's pretty close to my temperature. I've had that test done on my forehead like 300 times. The highest it's ever been, 97.7. Guess I'm just a cold-blooded guy.
That's how you can survive living in the desert.
Well, I wouldn't be here at 115, buddy.
Hey, so Jack, how many points are you going to give me on Saturday? I can't hear you. You're still muted.
And I don't know where Jack is. I don't see Jack on here. Hey, Suzanne.
I do.
He's right there.
He's 200.
He's right at him,
On my
Wes.
panel, on my Hollywood Squares, he's 200 me.
Yeah. I'm losing it, guys. Oh, okay.
Jack, the opening line was 25 points. I don't think that's enough.
Governor?
Wow, this must be an important meeting. We have Suzanne Gibson, we have Mary Back, we have Bill Klimek, who's a neighbor of mine. Wow, this must be an important meeting. I better
James
behave
Schlinkman.
myself.
please don't tell people you're a neighbor of mine.
University of Illinois.
Oh, there's Jack. Now I can finally see him. Hey, Jack.
Oh, don't you remember what my position is at these meetings?
Yeah, I do.
Instigator in chief.
But Suzanne's here and she always covers my fines, so.
All right, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and get this thing started right now. Time is, let's see, 12:15, and I'm going to call this meeting to order. It is Friday, October 30th. This is the 17th meeting of our Rotary year. For those of you who I don't know yet, my name is Wesley Crockett. I am the lucky president of the Rotary Club of Schaumburg-Hoffman Estates. It's my opinion that we have a fabulous meeting for everyone today. Gene Schlinkman and Officer Mark are going to talk to us about Shop with the Cop, and Eileen Bothman has a couple of videos to share with us that I think everyone is going to enjoy. And besides that, it's been a little bit of a rough week. It's been a rough month. I think everyone's got the jitters right now, and for whatever reason, I found so many good news stories, little tidbits, things that are going to make you smile that I could not just combine them into one piece today. So we're going to litter the meeting with good news stories and pepper them throughout. But I'm going to ask if we could start the meeting like we always do today. with the Pledge of Allegiance. And could I ask, Daryl Moon, can you unmute yourself, please, and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, dear. Thank you. And if we could have, let's see, Pat Gronwald. You know, I asked you to do this last week, didn't I? I'm going to pick on someone else. Sorry, Pat. Bob Fleischer, could you unmute yourself and please lead us in the four-way pact and the way I interact with others?
Four-way pact. I will have the courage to tell the whole truth. I will be kind in the way I tell it. I will be kind in the way I tell it. I will be fair and not seek selfish advantage. I will have an open heart and an open mind.
Let me take the check. Sorry, man. I'm in a meeting right now. Sorry. Sorry about that, guys. Right. And if I could please have Jack Lucas, could you please honor us with an invocation? Would you mind, Jack? I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing here, and let's see if I can get Jack to unmute himself here. Looks like we can't get Jack to do it. Sorry about that, Jack. Let's see. Brian Berg, how about you? Would you mind honoring us with an invocation, Brian? Unmute yourself.
Dear Lord, thank you for giving us all here together virtually, even though we cannot be in person, and help us to really enjoy our work and serve our fellow men. Amen.
Amen.
Nice
Thank you,
job, Brian.
Thank you. Sorry to put you on the spot there, buddy. I'm hoping that we could go around and introduce some guests that we have, and I see a couple of people that that we haven't seen in a little bit, and I'll just introduce our district royalty. Mr. Bill Kamisic is joining us today, our assistant governor, and our past district governor, the wonderful Suzanne Gibson, is joining us. Please welcome both of them. Thanks for being here with us, everyone. I also see with us today Mary Back. Thanks for joining us, Mary.
So it's back, just to say.
Forgive me. Forgive me.
It's always messed up. It's always messed up. So I know many of you being the grant chair this year, and as some of you may know, I'm the district governor nominee designate. So you'll see me around for a while. But thanks for a great program today.
Thank you, Mary. We appreciate it. And it's a rite of passage in this club. I said Lyle's last name wrong when I introduced him, even though I know how it's said. So honestly, you're in really good company is all I'm trying to say. So
Totally.
thank you for being here. And I also see Officer Mark looks like he's joining us. Hi, Officer Mark. Thank you for being here today. And especially thank you for serving our city at this time. So I have, and I think I shared with you guys already, had a ton of news stories that I found this week. And just for this section, we're going to call this the spooky news of the week section, all right? Because I'm just going to go through three, and all of these things spooked me this week. So because it's Halloween, that's where we should be. Michigan woman, this was just October 21st, so last week. Michigan woman dies 2 months after being found alive at the funeral home. How incredible was this? A 20-year-old suburban Detroit woman was declared dead. The first responders went to the to attend to her. The first responder said that she wasn't breathing for 30 minutes and showed no signs of life. Phoned that into the doctor, who never even saw her and declared her dead. Funeral home came and picked her up, took her to the funeral home. It was only that time when they saw her chest moving and called the ambulance. She went to the hospital. Unfortunately, she passed just this month. You can bet yourself that there is a massive lawsuit coming. The family has filed a $50 million federal lawsuit against the city and the first responders. So totally understand that one. So next creepy story. Well, conjoined twins are not creepy. Of course, it happens. It's a part of life. But what is creepy about these conjoined twins? They are conjoined at a part of their brain called the thalamic bridge. This allows them to see out of one another's eyes, allows them to speak to one another in their heads, it allows them to even control one another's limbs. They can, one of them can move the other's limbs and all that. And it's pretty crazy story. They said that they have a special bicycle that they ride that's made for both of them, and that they are just into swimming. But really creepy to think that someone out there can really hear someone else's thoughts. They said they have totally different personalities too. They said Tatiana's outgoing, talkative, and high-strung, while Krista is quieter and loves to tell jokes. That one just gave me the creeps. And third, this week, we know it's Halloween, and it's the first time in a long time, and won't be for another long time, that there's going to be a full moon on Halloween night. So you know the spookies are coming out on Halloween. So with that, I am going to look.
Say, Wes, if you ever need a full moon, just let me know.
Oh, and Daryl. Oh, that's so perfect, Daryl. Unbelievable. Looking around to see who's happy today. Is anyone happy? Let's see. Go ahead, Roger Smith.
I have 10 happy dollars rounding up for my my grandmother is 98 tomorrow.
Wow.
She's doing fabulous. Was independent up until September and started to lose eyesight, so she's moved in with my aunt, but physically and mentally very sharp.
That's good to hear. She's with your family. That's awesome. And happy birthday to her. That's awesome. Who else is happy out there? There's got to be some more happy. I see Bob Fleischer. Go ahead, my man. And then I see Ted Gross next.
So on Sunday, Louise and I went out to visit Bonnie and Jim. And good news is she's feeling great. She's looking great. She actually smiles and laughs. And it was just a joy to be with the two of them. So more good wishes for them.
Thank you for continuing to channel the love of this club to them via you. We really appreciate you doing that. And I know my parents are as well, taking real good care of them. So thank you guys. And Jim just gave us a good update about her too. It sounds like things are going the right direction. So that's really great to hear. Jim is still as talkative as ever and still emails me absolutely all the time. So he has not really taken much of a break from the club. Ted Gross, why are you happy this week?
Yesterday, the last of the replacement carpet was installed for my flooded basement, and I now have my basement back. So I am happy for that. So I will pay $5 for that.
That's awesome, man. That's great to hear. All right. Anyone else out there? Brian Berg.
I have 5 happy dollars. I'm leaving at 4 o'clock today for Florida for 2 weeks.
Hey, good for you, my friend. Driving or flying?
Driving.
Driving. All right, cool. Enjoy. Drive safe, my friend. We'll be thinking about you. You better come back with a nice tan, all right?
I'm already tan, if you can see. I'm still tan.
Yeah, you got it going pretty good. I have 12 happy dollars for this shiny new thing that I just got. This beautiful new iPhone 12, as you see. It's 5G. I've gotten incredibly fast speeds all week, taking great photos. And, I continue to fulfill my, I get the things when they come out. It's me. If I didn't do that, you wouldn't know it was me, right? So I got 12 happy dollars for that because it really is actually a really wonderful piece of kit. Like if you're in the market, get the iPhone 12 Pro. It's really wonderful. So I got 12 for that. Anyone else happy out there? And seeing none. Oh, did I see Mary? Yeah. Hey, Mary Jo. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Our fishing well mentor, we talked about him last night, Charlie, is actually, I just found out he works at my daughter's school, and one of my daughter's IA said, oh, I just met him. He helped me with this and this and this. So he's already helping my daughter with her iPad and stuff. So I have $5 that our fishing well mentor is hard at work and helping my daughter.
Nice. That's great to hear. That's certainly something to be happy about right there. That's wonderful. Eileen, did I see your hand up?
Yes, $5 happy, which I have prepaid by hitting the donation button too many times. And beware, folks, that happens. But for the wonderful job that Lauren did, and thanking all of the mentors for being on the Fishing Well Mentor matchup last night. It was fantastic. And as Mary Jo said, Charlie Segura, who's in his 5th year and will graduate in 2021, has been employed now at the Schaumburg High School in IT, doing what he wanted to do, what he trained to do with our Fishing Well Scholarship. So he's over the moon happy, and he happens to be my mentee this year. So it's pretty cool.
Nice. That's a great story. And hearing you and Mary Jo talk about where the rubber meets the road, as I talk about all the time, that's just wonderful in action right before us like that. That makes me happy for sure. Right. Not seeing any other happy dollars today, so I'm going to move on with 2 facts. Did you know that prairie dogs have an incredibly complex language? They don't just call out for danger, they can say the difference between a human, a domesticated dog, a hawk, and they can actually communicate size and color. So in one study, prairie dogs were found to be able to differentiate and tell their friends, here comes the short human in yellow versus the tall human in blue. Thought that was really incredible. Second fact, just found this out this week. We just found water on the frickin' moon. Did anyone see this? NASA just definitively found water in a crater, and they said we're going to send an astronaut there in 2024 to go check it out. The implications for us being able to travel interplanetary just, went way up. Thought those 2 things were really cool. Want to turn it over now to some club business and announcements, of which we have a few today. I'm going to ask Gary to start, but I just wanted to prime Gary. And if you have an announcement to make that I don't know about between Gary and Glenn, and I, raise your hand and I'll get you up here. We got one of the comments that I got back from the engagement survey that we did last month has stuck with me since I read it, and I wanted to share with you at least the ethos of it and have Gary speak to that. This person said, why am I working so hard to continue donating money only to build up this club's savings account? And that stuck with me. And when I read that to the board today, all of us just said, well, that's just simply not true. And what I wanted to do was have Gary address that and talk about it. While I can understand why someone might think that, there's a really good explanation for it. And go ahead, take it away, Gary.
Okay, so yeah, as Wes mentioned, he brought that up at the meeting, that comment, and asked me to kind of, like he gives us a club update at our meetings. I think it's good for maybe all of you guys to hear a brief financial foundation update. And so I think the important number that I think will benefit everybody is to hear that we have an accumulation of what's called unrestricted net assets, which means over the years, all the hard work we've done, all the fundraising we've done, we've accumulated money that is able to be spent on various projects or various that have come up. And as of right now, that's about $370,000. So I think the best way to describe it is we have a budget every year. And our goal for the budget during that particular fiscal year is to break even with money that we fundraise during the current year and what we spend in the current year. But I don't want anyone to get confused as to cash flow. And cash flow, we may spend above and beyond what we take in a given year, but that's because we've had surpluses in other years. So if there's any project, especially now with COVID, if there's any project that needs money that maybe isn't in the current budget, but is a need that's popped up, the money is available and it's listed as unrestricted, which means we have it available to us, whether it's in liquid cash or whether it's in our short-term investment account, meaning 1 to 5 years. We can use that money now, today, as soon as something is brought up to the club or the foundation's attention. So the view that it's a savings account, I hope we can help turn that around by giving you more frequent updates as to what's available to spend in terms of cash flow versus what our budgeted numbers are just for the fiscal year. So
good explanation.
for?
Can I add one thing to that? We,
Go ahead.
in the community service budget / action squad budget, we currently have about $12,500 that we're working with that is above and beyond our normal allotment, which I'm pretty sure came from the money Gary's talking about, specifically designated for COVID relief. And we used 5,600 of that this last quarter for PPE for about 7 of our organizations to do a bulk buy for them. So that money is there is money now currently in play and waiting to be used for COVID that this committee knows about and is working with. So if other people have other ideas and information, bring it to the Community Service Committee. That would be great. Thank you.
Thank you, Eileen. And just to be clear, that money was budgeted for. I submitted a balanced budget, and so the money that you're talking about has an income side to it as well. Just to be clear, it's not like extra money like Gary is talking about that we have access to should someone bring up another besides that. One, I guess
it's part of it's part of the budget. Last year we did get extra money that we used for COVID relief in the last Rotary year. But this money we actually budgeted for because we already knew we were in the pandemic.
Excellent.
All right.
Thank you. All right. Couple more announcements. And thank you, Gary. I think that was great. And I think that it's a great idea to continue to give the club updates of what the foundation is doing and how the money is being spent, where it is, how much we have. Anyone have any questions about that besides Eileen? Looks like we're okay there. And I think Glenn Shergott has an announcement for us about our meetings, foundation board meeting. Glenn, are you there with us? I don't see Glenn all of a sudden. All right, so we'll put a pause on that. Is there anyone who has any club business or announcements, things to talk about besides that? I got one thing at the end. Looking around.
I am back.
But all right, go ahead. Thanks, Glenn. Could you go ahead and give us your announcement about the foundation board meeting?
The next foundation board meeting will be on December the 11th, I think, Friday. At 10:30. Okay. I was off for the last 10 minutes. Had an internet problem there.
Looks like we got you back.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Glenn. And that meeting is going to cover 2 months, as I understand it. Glenn?
Correct.
Excellent. Okay.
We'll cover November and December.
Excellent. I have one announcement. This could have been a happy dollar, but it's an announcement I just sort of wanted to say. Many of you know that I've struggled with mental health in the past, and you don't need a degree to see that I'm wound up like a Stradivarius, and that causes a lot of anxiety. I have, for the past year, been seeing a psychologist every single week, and this is my 1-year anniversary of doing that, and I've seen her 52 times, and it has been truly the most productive medical engagement of any kind that I have ever had with someone. And I could not be the person that I am today without seeing someone and talking to someone about what's going on. And there is just this stigma out there about mental health. And I wanted to put myself out there to help destigmatize and say it's okay to not be okay. And to seek help in that way doesn't make you a not normal person. And if you are someone who is not feeling okay right now, which, let's be honest, it'd be really hard no one is okay right now. This all stinks, right? Know that you have a Rotarian to talk to about that, who can guide you in the right direction, or to be able to speak with someone about how you're feeling. I just wanted to say something about mental health to try and destigmatize that a bit, and just celebrate the fact that I am 1 year working with this person, and it is just a wonderful thing. So I was hoping to say something about that. Next, I have some fun things to share.
Sorry, I had something. As your treasurer, open up the chat, all of the links to Happy Dollars, to pay your Happy Dollars. to pay your balance and shop with the cop. And then when it comes down to it, fun and frolic. And don't forget, you can see past meetings video. I got the link in there, and also the other videos that are being put together and have been put together are all in the links. So open up the chat and enjoy.
Great job, Tom. Thank you. Go ahead, Bob.
So, well, first of all, Wes, I'm absolutely blown away with how candid you've just been about the situation that you have. Pretty, some of this stuff, pretty, and I'm for you, and I'm happy for you, and I'll just leave it at that. In addition, now, another subject, okay? You know, speakers, and I'm running into a bit of a problem, okay? I'm looking for somebody that can really entertain us, and I've had two people. I had a comedian booked. I had someone who is a American Bandstand expert who has film of the old days of American Bandstand, and then has found the people that were on the show, interviewing them as to what's transpired in their lives, and all really cool musicians from the 50s and 60s. So I'm real disappointed that, you know, both these people had to cancel. One, because she didn't think the presentation would go well virtually, and the one wanted some money. And that wasn't, and in my initial discussion with her, that was not part of the equation, but she asked for some minor donation, and again, I don't have that resource. So, so I'm asking for the club to volunteer some people that they know, that they think are real interesting, and preferably people that aren't asking for donations. I have no problem booking every week people that have their hands out, and while that's fine, after a while it gets a little old. I would like to be able to do something different. So I would really appreciate any suggestions anyone has, and I will get on them immediately.
Thank you, Bob. And these things are so important right now. I mean, this is, you know, especially like, so I hate that you didn't get to see the speaker last week that you booked, Bob, because he was so good. It was so much fun. Like that's, those are things that keep people here and really set the tone for what we do every Friday. So you're doing an excellent job. Let's continue to help Bob out and get ourselves some great content to put up there. And thank you, Bob, for the job you're doing.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Alan, did you have something too? I saw you unmuted yourself. Nope.
No, I'm just sitting here being in awe of what's going on.
We're in awe of you, Alan. So before we get to the Fine Master, some more stories. One that I found this week that absolutely blew me away. Can you all see this screen and see who this guy is? This little guy right here dressed up as a Union soldier. Well, his name is Johnny Clem. He is known as the drummer boy of Gawa. He is the youngest soldier in the Union Army. He shot a Confederate colonel and retired with the rank of general in 1915. 55 years he served the country for. And I saw this on Reddit this week, and I scrolled down to find one of the comments talking about this guy's story, and I'm just going to read it really quick because it's incredible. In May of 1861, a 9-year-old Johnny Lincoln Clem ran away from his home in Newark, Ohio to join the Union Army, but he found the Army was not interested in signing a 9-year-old boy. He then went to the commander of the 3rd Ohio Regiment, who told him he wasn't enlisting infants. So since he got turned down twice, he decided to just tag along with the 22nd Michigan Regiment, and he was their drummer boy. He just tagged along, and they kind of let him stay. And though he wasn't a regularly enrolled soldier, all the officers of camp gave him a soldier's pay of $13 a month. This kid grew up and went out with at like 13 years old, went out with the tenants. And a year later at the Battle of Chickamauga, he rode an artillery case onto the front, and he wielded a musket trimmed to his side. In one of the Union retreats, a Confederate officer ran after the cannon that Clem rode with and yelled, "Surrender, you damned little Yankee." Johnny shot him dead. I thought this was absolutely incredible that this guy served for 55 years, retired as a general. And somebody asked in the comments here, well, right now, with that many years of service, what would he make per month right now? And what would be his pension? And someone did the math. They said, 08 base pay for 40 plus years in service is $15,857 a month. So he would make a minimum of $190,284. Pretty incredible to learn about that little guy. One story that I saw this week that really stuck with me, and I don't know why, but I think you'll agree. This person put up an email that they got from their school district superintendent that blew me away, and I'm going to read it. We have decided that few childhood acts remain unchanged due to COVID-19, and we will maintain the hope of children by calling actual snow days due to inclement weather. Snow days are chances for on-site learners and virtual learners to just be kids by playing in the snow, baking cookies, reading books, and watching a movie. These are times for memory making, and we believe that those type of opportunities should remain intact. Man, did that hit me like a ton of bricks this week, and how incredible whoever wrote that was. It just makes me really happy to know that there are people who are thinking that way at a district level. So I thought that was pretty cool, and I had to share with you guys. Seeing all of that and all that goodwill, I'm going to bring all that goodwill to our sage fine master, Alan Gabe, to lift our spirits and raise some money for our club. Go ahead, Alan.
Thank you, Your Highness. As everybody in the club knows, I have certain rules. One of which is if you are wearing the same Rotary attire that I am wearing, you do not pay a fine. As you can see, I'm wearing the People of Action t-shirt from the district conference. So if you're wearing this t-shirt today, you do not have to pay a fine. On the other side of the coin, if you're not wearing Rotary attire and your Illinois parent is not Rotary attire, Brian, you will have to pay a $2 fine. If you were late to the meeting, that's $2. If you don't have your PIN, that's $2. If you did not contact a fellow Rotarian this past week on something other than Rotary business, that's a fine of $3. I see Bruce has the right t-shirt on today. I reached out to Don Miner this week, and I think more people should reach out to him. His wife's family had some very serious medical problems. They thought they lost her. She was taken from Northwest Community Hospital to North Shore, where she had some brain surgery, and she's going to make full recovery. So that's just what happens. I just called Don out of the blue and found this out. So if you did not reach out to another Rotarian past week, that's $3. If you did not respond to the question this week, I see a lot of faces here that did not respond. I don't want to point people out, but I will. Like, I didn't hear anything from Debbie. I didn't hear anything from her. I don't think I heard anything from Nancy. And anybody else who did not respond, that's going to be a $3 fine. So this week, I'm going to go off a little different tangent. I'm going to see how well we all know our fellow club members. So I'm going to read a quote that somebody from our club sent to me in response to this week's question. I will name 5 people, and then you all have to pick who you think it is. Now, the person who knows that they did this, please do not raise your hand during the thing. You can vote, but vote like you would vote on anything else. I don't want to have any tells. So the first question is, whose mother always told him he was perfect? Was that Brian Berg? Was that Vince Sanasardo? Was that Bob Fleischer? Was it Bruce Stockey? Or was it Bob Keller? Now, each of their mothers may have said that, made that response. So if you thought that it was Brian Berg's mother who said that she always thought he always told him that he was perfect, please raise your hand for Brian Berg, mother. Okay? So thought it was Vince Sanasardo's mother who said that she always thought he was perfect. Please raise your hand. Wow, look at all those people, Vince. The next one is Bob Fleischer. How many people thought that Bob Fleischer's mother said that she thought he was always perfect? Okay. And next is Bruce Dopke. Who thinks Bruce Dopke's mother said that he was always perfect? And the last is Bob Keller. How many people here think Keller's mother thought that he was perfect? Okay, so if you pick Brian Berg, sorry, that's $2. If you pick Bob Fleischer, sorry, that's $2. If you pick Bruce Dopke, sorry, that's $2. If you picked Bob Keller, sorry, that's $2. Vince Sanasardo's answer was, my mother always told me I was perfect, but not everyone shares her opinion. I happen to agree with her, so I won't change a thing. So that was from the humble, gracious Vince Sanasardo, who, sorry, Vince, you're going to have to contribute $2 for being so modest. The next question is someone who wants to come out of their shell. So a number of people in the club said they were too shy, but only one person said they wanted to come out of their shell. These are the 5 names: Bruce, Ed, Wes, Tom, Daryl, or Mike Golick. So we have Bruce Dopke, Ed Haig, Wes Crockett, Tom Ghosh, Daryl Moon, or Mike Golick. If you think it was Bruce Dopke who wants to come out of his shell, please raise your hand. If you think it was Ed Haig who said he wishes he could come out of his shell, raise your hand. If you think it was Wes Crockett who wishes he could come out of his shell, raise your hand. If you think it was Tom Ghosh who wishes he could come out of his shell, raise your hand. If you think it was Daryl Moon who wishes he could come out of his shell, raise your hand. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the person who said that he wishes he could come out of the shell is our Arizona Flash, the man of the desert, Daryl Moon, who said, I would try much harder to come out of my shell. I just need to suck it up and become more willing to give my opinion when I'm in a larger group. I am just so shy.
Is it the
Again,
truth?
for being
Is it-
so humble, it's the truth. I'm not denying that. Okay, Moondog, that'll be $2 though. The last person who responded this week was Mike Erickson, and Mike also is humble. What would he like to change about himself? Nothing. It's not that I am perfect, but I'm fine just the way I am. There are other people who weren't going to change anything. Eileen, nothing. Hers is a better explanation, though. The explanation to my very short answer is, if I could have changed by now, I would have. If I can't, oh well, I've got to live with it. I like that one. My favorite response, though, goes to my buddy Ted Gross. Knowing Ted and how he usually answers, he was the first one to respond, and he said, I am not really comfortable answering this question as I feel it is too personal in nature. So maybe my answer should be, I would try and not take the weekly Rotary question too seriously so that I am comfortable answering the weekly question. Is that an answer from an attorney or what? So I'm not giving you a fine, Ted. I'm very proud of it. Bob Fleischer, though, I love you, Bob, but sometimes I don't understand you. His response was from Mr. Fleischer. I wish I was not as judgmental as I am. Okay, Mr. Fleischer, since I don't know who that is, that'll be $2. Wes, I didn't understand yours. There's no explanation. I'm not going to say what it was, but you can just pay $2.
You hit me at a bad time. Yeah.
So Bill Kelly. Now, here's a man who went to college, graduated law school, worked for a Supreme Court justice in the state of Louisiana, for the And his response was, the thing that he would like to change most is, quote, my socks.
There you
So
go.
now, Bill, I know you're a big White Sox fan. So are you saying that you want to change from White Sox to the Red Sox? Or are you talking about the socks that you're wearing?
Always the socks I'm wearing, especially late in the afternoon.
Well, you know, I heard that from your family, so why don't you contribute $2? Bill Landwehr, I'm glad to see you're back. I hope your knees are doing well, but I didn't hear from you, so pay your fine. Jack Lucas, I'm going to have to fine you $2 for not unmuting yourself when I asked you how many points you're going to give me for tomorrow, and for not being able to do the invocation. Mary Bach, are you still here, Mary? I don't see her. Is she here? Anybody know if Mary Bach is here?
I don't see her.
Her video and mic are off.
Yeah, but Mary is here. Mary is here.
Okay, well, Mary, only our club can pick on our members. So for you picking on our President West, although, as Bill Clement will tell you, I rarely find visitors, especially dignitaries from the district, I'm going to have to fine you $2 for picking on our West. I can say whatever I want about my brothers or sisters, but no one else better do so. The other thing is, a couple people wanted to be taller. Glenn Garlick wanted to be taller. So if he says that he was 6'9", because then he would be thin. He would be 6'9" and 240. Okay, that's good. Then that would be $2. And Rosemary wanted to be taller so she wouldn't have to step on a step ladder all the time to reach things on the top shelf. That's a nice answer for $2. And Gene, you know, Gene, I've always felt sorry for you and your size 6. But Gene said, I wish I liked wine and beer so I can enjoy them with Vicky and friends. Gene, you don't need wine and beer to enjoy your friends. They'll enjoy being with you just because of your size 6. So that'll be $2. Bob Keller, it's nice to see you for a change. Haven't seen you in a while. You know, great win last week over Penn State. I was thinking about you. So I think that the guy just made it by a couple inches. So why don't you pay $1 an inch or $2 for that great victory over Penn State? If anybody's wearing a hat at the meeting today, it may be stylish, but I don't know if it's appropriate. We have the district governor, the past district governor, the almost district governor, the district governor nominee, the district governor who may be coming up the line somewhere down the road. You know, we have all these so-called dignities, so I don't think that's appropriate. And I was really upset about reading this month, the latest Rotarian. There was an article about a Rotarian in Chicago, but there was nothing in Rotarian about our club.
Oh, boo.
So, you know, so anybody who has had their picture in the Rotarian in the last 12 months, I didn't find you before, but isn't it now? So that'll be $2 each. You all know who you are. And the last one is going to be my friend George Panopoulos. I have to read this, George. I would stop the nose hairs from growing out of my nose. Of course, I have a trimmer that takes care of it, but still. Why? Hair growing out of noses is not appealing. Duh. Thanks for sharing that with us. That's $2. Wes, it's back to you. Everybody, happy Halloween and stay safe and healthy.
Thank you, Alan. We appreciate you. Where is the country music coming? Oh, it's Tom Ghosh. God, you sneaky, sneaky Tom Ghosh with your sneaky music. Before I introduce Bob Fleischer and ask him to introduce our speakers today, my question for you is, have you ever seen a horse play with a ball before? You ever seen a horse play with a ball? Incredible. This horse loves this ball. He's just like a dog. Absolutely incredible. Got a good laugh out of this one this week. I told you I was peppering the meeting with funny things. All right, you guys better have laughed at that. I didn't hear anything. I'm going to turn it over right now to our sage director of finding us great speakers, Bob Fleischer. After that great introduction, go ahead, unmute yourself, my friend. I sent you a request to unmute yourself. There we go.
Okay, so I think you should, as president of this fine club, I think you should introduce the two just super members that we have that are going to put on a great presentation today.
Excellent. Without any further ado, I'd like to introduce Gene Schlinkman and Officer Mark from the Schaumburg Police Department. Go ahead, Gene.
Thank you, Wes. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. It is the time of the season. You've been to the stores and you've seen all of the holiday things. And of course, the first thing that comes to my mind is Shop with a Cop. And unfortunately, this year, Shop with a Cop was not going to be held in person. It is going to be something totally different. And we do that event with the Hoffman Estates Police Charitable Foundation. And Officer Mark is here again to talk to us about Shop with a Cop. So Mark, if you would let us know what it looks like this year. And actually, before you do, I want everybody to know that the club has $1,000 in our budget to contribute to Shop with a Cop this year. And we also have $500 from the Community Service Discretionary Fund, which I'm very pleased to be able to say that is also going to Shop with a Cop. So Officer Mark, welcome, and please give us a little bit of information about this year's Shop with a Cop.
Thank you, Gene. Boy, you guys are a fun bunch. It's very entertaining sitting there listening to. And if I make a side note, please make sure I never upset Alan, because I don't think I can afford all his fines. So I'll make sure I keep him in my good graces. So again, wow, a year has passed, and what a year it's been. I'm sure I don't need to tell any of you how difficult this year has been for so many people. And it's been really difficult for the police department. It's been difficult for our fundraising activities that we normally do on a yearly basis. I can say for the first time in my 25-year career, this is the first time that we're not going to be able to support all of the children in our community that we normally do for Shop with a Cop. And what's equally sad about that is if there was any year that we needed to help our community, it's this year. And it's heartbreaking because there are so many families that have lost their jobs that will not be able to provide for their families this year and provide gifts for their kids. And I know they leaned on our police department to help give these children and these families a nice holiday season. So it's just heartbreaking because this is probably one of the most passionate things that I've done for our police department in my 25-year career. And I know it's hard for our committee. And so we are doing the best we can. Last year, just to give you a little recap, with all the money that we donated and the generous donation from the Schaumburg and Hoffman Estates Rotary Club, we were able to help 81 families with a $200 gift card and take these children shopping. In addition, there was another probably a few dozen families that we were able to give a gift card for them to go and purchase food to have a holiday dinner for their family. So we were able to do a lot. Unfortunately, I think this year we probably won't even be able to help half of those people. And like I said earlier, this year more than ever, people need help. So what we are doing from the Charitable Foundation is obviously with the COVID restrictions and the size of gatherings, we're not allowed to host fundraisers like our Brew Fest. We've had some major retirements and setbacks in our police department. We couldn't even run our football squares, which brings in several thousands of dollars a year in donations. And obviously we're not going to be having our Shop with a Cop event because we can't obviously do that with the restrictions that are in place right now. So we're all hurting. And if it's not from the police department, I know there's a lot of people out there that have lost their jobs and they're hurting financially with their family. So it's hard to ask people to reach into their pockets and donate money right now. I get it. But what we are leaning on are the people that can't afford to do so. We're asking you to please donate what you can. My children, they help every year. They went into their savings account and they each donated $100 to our charitable foundation, because I want them to know that, you know, we're in a position where we're a little more fortunate than some families, and I want them to know the value of helping other people, and I want to instill that in them. And that was a big thing for them, and they felt really good about it, and I made sure they felt good about it, because that $200 they donated will go a long way to help people. So that's where we're at. That's our current state of affairs. I know we're all set back with the restrictions. There's not a lot we can do about it. It's affected the whole world, not just us. So I understand that. So the donation, I believe, Gene, you said was $1,500. I believe that was coming in. That is going to help so many people, especially this year. So I just want to take the time to thank the Rotary Club for the years of support you have given our police department. You have no idea, maybe you do, but you have no idea how many lives you have changed in our communities through these donations, with us being able to buy presents for families that would most likely not be able to provide for the children, and put food, a nice holiday dinner on these families' tables. And it's just an incredible feeling to know that we have support from a community and a club such as yourselves. I know you do so much more for the community than just Shop with a Cop, but since obviously Shop with a Cop is my thing, I want to personally thank each and every one of the members here that have come out year after year to support us, either monetarily or with donating their time to wrap presents, show up to the event to see just how wonderful these children appreciate the donations and the time that you guys, you know, commit to this foundation. So I wish it was better news to come on here and say that we're going to have a better and bigger year than we had last year, because every year it's grown. It's grown every single year I've been doing this. We've helped more and more people. And this is the first year, unfortunately, it's going to be almost cut in half. And so,
hey, Mark,
yes.
Is the goal this year to give just gift cards to kids and or families?
Since we can't physically bring the kids with us, yeah. So the goal is, depending on how much money we actually raise, we will sit down at the end of November as a committee, and we will look at our account, and we will reach out to schools. And unfortunately, we're gonna have to actually the social workers, and that's another big challenge right now as well. Is these social workers aren't physically in school with these children, so it's really hard to gauge who needs our help because everything's done virtually. So there's a lot of hurdles we have to overcome. So this is going to be a learning year for us, and hopefully next year the country and everything is somewhat back to normal, and we're not facing these type of challenges. But we don't know; it's uncertain.
So,
but,
Officer Mark, in response to that, and subsequent to a message I just received privately here, I'd like to respectfully turn the floor over to Roger Smith, who'd like to bring something up. Roger.
So I just thought, I mean, obviously this is an unusual year and it's a tough year and many people have lost their jobs, probably a greater need than ever. And of course, we began this meeting talking about, we have a large sum of money in the foundation. I would love it if we pick up half the kids. Officer Mark said earlier, they usually do 81. Why don't we sponsor 40? Yeah.
Wow.
Are you making a motion then, Roger?
I'm making a motion for the foundation to discuss that.
Glenn, would you like
I'll
to
second that motion.
Well, you know, we could easily have a meeting of our entire foundation right now if we so chose. Glenn, would you like to speak on that at all? And while he's doing that, I will suspend our club meeting right now and give it over to Glenn. If he wants to open up a foundation meeting, he can.
You know, while we're waiting for Glenn, go ahead, Glenn. Go ahead.
Well, first of all, I think the foundation board would like to entertain that and see what the cost is and see where it possibly could come out of the budget. If something has a budget line to it, the right way to do it is go through the foundation board first and then present it to the club.
If I could make a suggestion, and Roger, thank you for that offering. And what we'd like to do is make a personal appeal for Shop with a Cop. Now, many of us have participated in the football squares and with $50. And this year we're not doing that. So, I am going to contribute my $50 instead of to the football squares. And this 50 always went to Shop with a Cop. So my $50 and Vicky's $50, I'm going to contribute to Shop with a Cop this year. And I hope that the others of you who have participated in the football squares, and even if you haven't participated in the squares, to do so now. And there is a link. Tom has put a link up on the chat for Shop with the Cop. So go there and donate some money. I see that Don Crockett is waving some money. So thank you, Don. And Nancy's got her hand up. So thank you, Nancy. And I know Eileen was going to, and Daryl and Gail. And there's Jack and wonderful Glenn and
Michael.
So great. So there's Bill, Steve Lamp, Rosemary, Mary Jo, excellent. And people that I can't see because I'm switching screens here. So thank you so much. And then we can see how much that brings in. We'll also, the link will be up this week, and I'll make a reminder next week about it too. And we can look what that is. Tom put it in the chat, right? And Glenn, then maybe the foundation board can look at it and see what kind of numbers we have.
And if you like, Gene, I will be putting it on Facebook again. It was on yesterday. So if you are on Facebook and you want to share it, the link will be there so that people can do that. If you want to write a check, it goes to the foundation. In the memo line, say it's for Shop with a Cop, and I'll make sure that Gary gets it when I pick it up from the mailbox.
From the mailbox, great. And then also, you guys, just keep in mind, remember that Jeff always likes to say it's for the kids. This really is for the kids. So keep that in mind. Thank you. Thanks, Officer Mark. Appreciate your comment.
Thanks, Officer Mark.
Thank you very much thank you. And just so you guys know, if you guys do personally make a donation, we are a 503c or is it 501?
113c.
3C charitable fund. So it is tax deductible. And if you needed that information, I can certainly provide it to Jean and she could forward it to you guys for tax purposes as well. But I appreciate all your time. I appreciate the donations. I'm actually lost for words that you guys are even entertaining the fact of donating more than you already have. You have no idea how much this will help. So
you guys do good work all year round. We know that there's people out there that need some help, and we're very fortunate personally and as a club to be able to support it. So keep up the good work.
Thank you very much. Thank you all for your time. Have a wonderful Halloween. I think it's going to be a beautiful day tomorrow. So those of you that celebrate or have kids that are celebrating it, I think they'll get a good day tomorrow. So I look forward to talking with you soon. Gene, you and I will be in contact. And thank you all very much for your time. And more importantly, thank you all for the generous donations you're giving to these children, these families. It goes a long way. Thank you.
Thank you, Gene. Thank you, Officer Mark. We really appreciate it. Before we go over to Eileen and her video presentations, Mike Erickson had one thing he wanted to say. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, I want to thank everyone who's going to make an individual contribution. But I'd also like our foundation board to consider matching that. Because I think if we're individually expressing our desire to support this, and we do have funds in our foundation that it would be worthwhile to have that foundation consider matching our contributions.
Excellent. That's certainly something I see some head shaking that looks like it'll be taken up, certainly. Roger Smith.
So I obviously think it's a wonderful cause. I wouldn't have made the motion in the first place, but I wanted to put out there Also in the line of it's for the kids. Not announced today, was going to be announced next week, is that we're going to participate in the Toys for Tots with the Bloomingdale Club as we have in the past. So I just put that forward when we're considering about foundation donations and personal donations. If we're cannibalizing one program to do the other, we might use one pool of money, the foundation, for one solution and the other personal donations for the other. Just food for thought.
Thank you, Roger. That makes a lot of sense, and that's good food for thought. Thank you.
Question.
Go ahead, Daryl.
So if we use this stuff that is now in our chat area, for giving money to the police department, is that going to then be separate so that we can determine what it is?
Yes. So for 2 weeks, this Shop with a Cop link is going to be specifically for Shop with a Cop. And Tom are going to keep track of that money and earmark that for Shop with a Cop. And then the link may be used for something else.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
I want everybody to disregard what Daryl said about who you're giving the money to. You're not giving the money to the police. You're giving money to their foundation, because I don't think it would be appropriate for people to give money to the police, Mark.
No,
So,
no.
And I know people who are wearing orange jumpsuits who tried to do that. So keep that in mind.
I saw Ed, your hand up. Go ahead, Ed.
If we're going to be concerned about two upcoming events, which I've heard of, obviously, why don't we put them together? We certainly have a process in the foundation and allocate it together. So Gene, while you're putting the Shop with a Cop numbers together, obviously there's some money budgeted. We need more from the foundation. I understand that. And whatever the contribution is from the members. And then also look at.
I see you, Gary. I see you, Glenn.
They also look at Toys for Tots at the same time, so that we're not scrambling in November to do that. Let's look at it and figure out what we're going to do. Obviously, the holiday times are upon us, so let's get both projects underway now. And Gene, I know you're pretty familiar with both, so.
Especially because we're not meeting as a foundation during the month of November.
We can have a meeting that can arrange for funding. I don't think that's an issue at all. I'm sure Glenn can call on. We can get that taken care of. I think we just need to know what the numbers are so we know how much money to allocate.
Excellent. We're going to go Gary, then Glenn Garlick, and then we got to move on.
Okay, so just to make this simple, so there's not, so you guys understand, the link that was created for Shop with a Cop, now that I've gone through the process and learned how to do it, I can create a separate link for each one of these programs that we're going to use a link for, and therefore it's very, very easy to discern between which money is going to Shop with a Cop, which money is going to Toys for Tots, and which money is going to any other program. So I can create a separate link. I don't have to rework the existing link. Now that I've been through the process, it'll take me less than 10 minutes to do another link when it's needed.
Well, why don't we get that out there now? We know it's going to be needed, don't we? Let's not wait 2 weeks and then be scrambling around Thanksgiving when we don't even meet. Get the links out there now.
Typically, the Toys for Tots was not money that came out of our budget. That was what we did individually that we took to the Bloomingdale Club if you were going to the meeting or you gave $20 or something like that. There was never a line item in the community service budget for Toys for Tots.
Correct. Well, and we can do it again, and then we can decide at a certain point if we want to supplement that amount or not supplement that amount.
I'm going to
Let's
ask
do it, or at least get the links in place so we're prepared.
Glenn Garlick and then Bill Kelly, and we got to close this discussion. We got other stuff we got to get to, guys.
Yeah, you know, last year was my first year with this Shop with a Cop program, and it really touched me. It touched me what the police department does. It touched me in the way Gene organized it. And Wes, I've already sent you the message, but Gene, so that you can start with a figure that's a robust figure. My wife and I will send the check for $500 for Shop with a Cop.
Wow, that's incredible, Glenn. Thank you. We really appreciate that. Bill Kelly.
I love the entire discussion. Everyone made a great contribution. Love the idea of a matching opportunity for Toys for Tots, just like we may have a matching opportunity for Shop with a Cop. And I love that matching opportunity so to be brought before the foundation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Eileen, do you have one thing to say too? Nope. Okay. Well, you do have a lot to say because I'm about to introduce you.
In the program.
Yeah, exactly. Alan.
Well, real quick, someone should call Glenn Garlick's wife and tell her that he's spending her money.
Thank you.
You can get in touch with her. You're a better man than I.
So without any further ado, I would like to introduce, to speak to our club today, Eileen Higginbotham. Eileen, thank you for joining us and speaking to us.
Thanks, Wes. I hope you'll all be able to stay for a couple of extra minutes because our last discussion became a little more involved than we had anticipated. We have to share with you the actual event of Empty Shoes, Empty Hearts. It's an edited version. It's 14 minutes long, and it is beautifully done by Rick from the Village of Hoffman Estates. The mayor had Rick film it. Gabby Vargas and I worked on this for 3 weeks, almost nonstop. It was one of those brainchilds that just came together with Mark Parr, and I was able to reach out to many of my contacts. Bill Kelly helped with that as well. And the whole focus was to bring community leaders together that have a network that they can get the word out there about youth suicide. And Wes, you offered a beautiful segue into this because October was Mental Health Month. And of course, there is such a stigma to people that attempt suicide or successfully commit suicide. And then the aftermath of what's left for people to pick up the pieces and move on with their lives and try to make sense of it. Gabby's foundation has done a wonderful job of helping to share that. We've started our follow-up with everyone that was there, and you'll see we had the right people there. Every person we asked was there. And if we had been crowd gathering instead of influence gathering, I probably would have had to turn away people. So we were trying to bring community leaders together. I have already sent you, or Gabby posted, I believe, the proclamation, or maybe I sent it out, the proclamation. You should have seen the article that ran in the Daily Herald on October 10th. And we've sent handwritten thank you notes. We've also sent out this week, I sent everyone a letter along with the links to the 14-minute piece that you're going to see and then to Tom's 2-minute piece. So please, if you can give us that time, this is incredibly moving. It's incredibly important. And we are asking you, share it with your networks, email it to your friends, get it out there. Anytime we can spread this word and we can let people know they're not alone, we have a chance to save a life and change lives. And Gabby, I don't know if you're on, I haven't seen you, but I want to thank you. And I want to thank everyone from the district that's on today because they turned out to support this event as well and are promoting it. It was very, very well received. And with that, I'll ask you to put it on, Wes, and it's, like I said, it's 14 minutes.
Thank you, Eileen. Here we go. I'm not going to, just so everyone knows, I'm not going to be able to see you if you're waving at me or if you text me. So basically, if there's something wrong with the stream, send me a text and I'll get it right here is all I ask, okay?
Good morning. My name is Gabriela Vargas. I am chair of what now Rotary Club of Shirk Hoffman Estates Satellite Club Shirk. We are future innovators ready to serve the community. As a suicide loss survivor and attempt survivor, one of the goals of our club is to help decrease the rates of suicide in our communities. We are here on this beautiful fall day at the Butterfly Healing Garden at Children's Advocacy Center in Hoffman Estates. With me is Mark Parr, Director of Children's Advocacy Center.
Thanks, Gabby. I am Mark Parr. Good morning. I am the Executive Director of the Children's Advocacy Center of North and Northwest Cook County. Our center provides comprehensive services for children who are victims of sexual abuse, severe physical abuse, witnesses to domestic violence, or involved in as victims or witnesses to other crimes. Each year, more than 1,000 children and adults are offered services that are free and confidential through the Children's Advocacy Center. We know that trauma and abuse in childhood can lead to feelings of sadness and even thoughts of self-harm for children, for their families, and for the professionals who work to help them.
It is estimated that in 1 year, at least 1.5 million people unwillingly become suicide loss survivors. Those are the friends and families of the lives lost and silenced by suicide, 80% of those in male. Suicide is one of the most traumatic losses, and many are faced isolation due to stigma in our communities.
Children say that you are not alone and that there's hope and healing after abuse and trauma.
Today, on October 9th, we will be proclaiming Empty Shoes, Empty Hearts. For the empty shoes and empty hearts these lives have left in many families in our communities. I give a warm welcome to State Representative Michelle Moosman, Mayor of Hoffman Estates, William McLeod, and Mayor of City of Schaumburg, Tom Daly. I also give thanks to all the community leaders who have stepped up, and today we'll be giving symbolically the names to the 57 lives of children and youth lost to suicide, as their lives many times are silenced and forgotten because of the suicide loss.
Village of Hoffman Estates.
Mayor Tom Daly, Schaumburg. Whereas Rotary Satellite Club, Innovators of the Future, lead in community service and seek to strengthen our communities with individuals making positive contributions for prosperous communities through supporting the environment, personal development, continuing education, financial health, promoting well-being for suicide prevention, and
whereas, according to the CDC, suicide is a serious public health problem that can have lasting harmful effects on individuals, families, and communities. There are many factors that contribute to suicide. The goal of suicide prevention is to reduce factors that increase risk, increase factors that promote resilience, and
whereas suicidal thoughts can affect anyone regardless of age, gender, race, orientation, income level, religion, or background, and according to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, suicide is the 10th leading cause of death among adults, especially in veterans, and the second leading cause of death among individuals between the ages of 10 and 24 in the U.S. And
whereas in their most recent report of leading causes of death, the Illinois Department of Public Health estimates 57 children ages 1 to 17 died by suicide in 2018, leaving behind not just an empty pair of shoes, but also an empty place in the hearts of at least 342 suicide loss survivors and 24,225 members of communities exposed to each suicide death. And
whereas on October 9th, 2020, a private gathering will take place at the Rotary Healing Butterfly Garden at the Children's Advocacy Center in Hoffman Estates, where Empty Shoes, Empty Hearts visual shoe display provided by the Gabby Vargas Foundation for Suicide Prevention will help bring awareness to the number of children and youth lost to suicide. 57 tulip bulbs will be planted in the remembrance, a sign of hope and love for suicide loss survivors and those struggling in silence.
Be it therefore resolved that me, Mayor Tom Daly of the Village of Schaumburg, and Mayor William D. McLeod of the Village of Hoffman Estates, Illinois, acting under and by virtue of the authority vested in us by the Constitution of the State of Illinois and the laws of the Village of Schaumburg and Hoffman Estates, do hereby proclaim Friday, October 9th, 2020, as Empty Shoes, Empty Hearts Day
in the Village of Schaumburg and the Village of Hoffman Estates, and urge all residents and businesses of Schaumburg and of Hoffman Estates to join in the observance by learning about suicide warning signs and sharing information to help those in need.
In witness whereof, we have hereunto set our hands and affixed the great seals of the Village of Schaumburg and the Village of Hoffman Estates on this 9th day of October 2020. And we're going to do that right now.
Thank you to the mayors for making this a memorable day, and we break the silence for those victims who need our support. First, I present State Representative Michelle Musum, who will be breaking the silence.
I am Michelle Mussman, State Representative, and today I break the silence for LaDonna, Charles, Jose, Daniel, and Paul, and remind those who are still struggling, you are not alone.
I'm Andy DeRoss, Superintendent of Schools in District 54. Today I break the silence for Becky, Richard, Patrick, Simon, and Sean, and remind those who are struggling that you are not alone.
I'm Lisa Small from Township High School District 211, and today I break the silence for Brian, George, Amanda, Marco, and Daniel. Remind those that are struggling, you are not alone.
Good morning. I'm Jeff Julian, Chief of Staff for Harper College. Today I break the silence for Darcy, Glenn, Chris, George, and Eric, and remind those who are struggling that you are not alone.
I am Ted Boss, Police Chief for the Village of Hoffman Estates. Today I break the silence for Michael and Kevin and remind those who are struggling that you are not alone.
Hi, I'm Kasha Cawley, Assistant Chief of Police, Hoffman Estates. Today I break the silence for Daniel and Patty and remind those that are struggling that you are not alone.
Hello, I'm Grace Hong Duffin, President and CEO of Kenneth Young Center. Today I break the silence for Elizabeth, Juan, Paul, Richard, and Joseph. And for those who are struggling, you are not alone.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Dahr, President and CEO of the Wings Program. And today we break the cycle for Ryan, Jerry, Nick, Dan, and my dear friend Martha. And for those of you still struggling, you're not alone.
I, Kathy Mellon, Executive Director of Partners for Our Community. Today I break the silence that for Christina, Kevin, Tom, Jimmy, and Patrick, and remind all that are struggling that you are not alone.
I am Joe Podlasek, CEO of the Trickster Cultural Center, a Native and cultural organization here. And I break the silence for Summer, Cheyenne, Dakota, Clayton, and Tahoma. And to those that are still struggling, you are not alone.
Hi, my name is Bill Kamisek, and I'm with the Rotary District 6440. Today I break the silence for Benjamin and Jonathan and remind those who are still suffering that you are not alone.
Hi, I'm Bill Kelly, past president of Rotary Club of Schaumburg, Hoffman Estates, and today I break the silence for Catherine, Jimmy, and Paul, and remind all those who are still suffering that you are not alone.
Here at the Children's Advocacy Center, our goal is to ensure that children and families are safe and that children heal from the trauma and grow to their full potential.
I am joined today by Shirk Club members of Schaumburg Hoffman Estates Rotary Satellite Club and suicide loss survivors out of hiding into healing. And we break the silence to spread awareness in our community.
My name is Lupe Barone, and I'm breaking the silence for Tony Escrocias and my brother Nestor Cabrera. And for all of you guys that are suffering, you're not alone.
My name is Gloria Nash, and I am a suicide survivor. And I break the silence for my cousins Adam Nash and Patrick Mullins. And I am also here just to offer additional support for anyone who is struggling and would like to find more resiliency in their life.
Hi, I'm Jim Hollick. I'm a former teacher from District 54, now working with the Gabby Vargas Foundation. I'm here to represent Jordan Campbell and my cousin Cheryl Swees.
As a suicide loss survivor and grief support specialist, I also break the silence for my cousin Edward Fulton and Jonathan Gibson. And one of our main goals is that those struggling in silence feel free to talk, because there's a community of resources here in Hoffman Estates and Schaumburg ready to support them. One of the ways the community can help is through purchasing a customized paved brick here at the Healing Garden. For $125, $100 of that amount will go directly to the Children's Advocacy Center in hopes of providing another therapist, as the waitlist for therapy for these children is long. Two of the biggest obstacles to preventing suicide and sexual abuse is silence and stigma. Today, we break the silence for all those struggling.
Good morning. I'm Oscar Gutierrez, United States Marine Corps veteran, and I break the silence for all those servicemen and servicewomen who have served. And I represent them today and let them know you're not alone. We're here for you, and reach out.
Every day, at least 22 veterans, including those serving still in the reserves, take their life every day. For all those that have lost someone, for those that are struggling, today we break the silence. Today we pave the way for healing, one brick at a time. Thank you, everyone, again. And I want to tell every single one of you today, I know that your jobs are hard. You're out there serving people that need you. Don't forget to think about yourself. Don't forget to check up on your friends, on your family members. After COVID, the rates of suicide, the rates of isolation, depression have increased dramatically. Please take care of yourselves. Please, reach out to Shirk, reach out to someone in Rotary if you need us. We're here to support you guys. We're here to provide resources that may be available, and if we don't have them, we'll look for them. Thank you so much for being here. It means the world, and I hope today we can save one life. If we can save one life, we can change one whole generation. Thank you so much, and have a great day.
That was absolutely incredible. Wow. Congratulations.
Thank you. And I would encourage anyone that doesn't know what to do for a Christmas gift or holiday gift or a memorial gift for anyone that they know, go to the website for the CAC, create your own memory in that garden, and help us get another therapist. Their waiting list is long, and they need all the help they can get. And with that, if you can stay 2 more minutes, we'd love you to see Tom's short version of this. This is what he put together without even being asked to do, and he had it for me like the day after the event. It's fantastic. Tom, thank you for having such a big heart to get this done for us.
The Rotary Club of Schaumburg and Hoffman Estates was founded over 50 years ago to be of service to people in our community and around the world. The Schaumburg Hoffman Estates Rotary Satellite Club was founded in 2020 and is the lead on the Empty Shoes, Empty Hearts Day of Hope and Healing on October 9th, 2020 at the Children's Advocacy Center in Hoffman Estates. Our Rotary Club is especially proud of the Butterfly Garden. The Butterfly Garden is a sanctuary of beauty and tranquility. The Rotary Healing Butterfly Garden was beautiful and the weather was lovely for this special remembrance ceremony. Local Rotarians and dignitaries gathered to network and share stories. Woven throughout the garden were 57 pairs of shoes, one for each victim of suicide. We highlighted the silence that comes with suicide as an obstacle for its prevention. The ceremony began with comments and welcome from Gabriela Vargas, then moved to a reading of the joint proclamation by Hoffman Estates Mayor McLeod and Schaumburg Mayor Daley. Then the name bearers read each name and said, "Today we break the silence for you and remind those who are struggling you are not alone." Today their role will be of that someone who breaks the silence. In remembrance of the 57 youth whose lives were silenced by suicide, names who have become anonymous due to the stigma, our community leaders gifted. The alarming statistic is that 80% of youth suicides are male. This symbolic ceremony, we are breaking the silence, highlighting community resources and spreading awareness to help an avenue of hope and to encourage and support survivors and those who feel ashamed to ask for help. Rotarians are people of action and we are driven by compassion. We know what needs to be done and we do it.
Tom Ghosh, baby. How
He
about
does.
that?
Doesn't he rock? I'm telling you.
Tom Ghosh.
I thought that was fantastic. So club members do have two great videos. Get them out there. These are things that we are doing in the community, that our satellite club is doing. And it's something I think we can all be proud of. And just use your networks and get your network to send it out there. The message is profound. It's the need is just going to keep growing.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Eileen.
Thank you.
Tom.
And thank you everyone who stayed extra so that they could watch both of these. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you guys all for being here, and that was absolutely wonderful. Before we depart, things are going to be a lot different the next time we all meet one another. I think a big event's going to happen next Tuesday, and absolutely none of us know exactly how it's going to go. We have no idea, and no matter what happens, NERAS makes no difference. 50% of this club and 50% of our community and 50% of this country is going to be pretty disappointed with the outcome. And I want to ask of you, to implore you to, if you are on that winning team, to resist the urge publicly on Facebook to spike the football when you win. Remember how you look and remember how you'll feel if you're on the other side of that. And I ask you also to resist the urge to, if we don't know the end of this thing by next week when we all meet, to resist the urge to spread scandalous and tempting stories that can further a narrative about something being amiss. Remember, honestly, at the end here, that we're all Americans, and how you felt on September 12th. And I just felt the need to say something about that. With that, let's get this thing ended. Vince Sanisardo, can I ask you please to lead us in the four-way test of the things that we think, say, and do? Vince is trying to unmute himself. It's our.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I got it. Okay, first. Is
it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned?
Will it build goodwill
and better friendships?
Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you guys for being here today.
Tom Ghosh, are you still on?
It depends on what you're asking.
For that link for Shop with the Cop, could you put that in an email, please?
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
hard not to be proud of that.
And also
That's,
Rosemary,
great
is
meeting.
Rosemary still on?
Yes, she is, but she's muted.
I'm here.
Hey, Rosemary, I just want to compliment you on your hair.
Whoa.
And I want to tell you that my wife has done the same thing.
Woo!
Nice. Great.
So you look
Looks
great.
great, Rosemary. Looks great. I appreciate that.
I even showed your picture to my wife because she's wondering if she did the right thing. And I think you both have done the right thing.
Yeah, I think Pete's a little, he was unused, he's not used to seeing me quite this color, but he's got used to it. He's complimented me quite a bit lately, so.
I saw Bill just show Jeannie too, so he's next.
Yeah. And just think of all the money you're going to save.
I know it. All the trips to the stylist, I love it.
A trendsetter, Rosemary.
Well, congratulations.
Thanks.
Nice job today, Wes. Thank you.
Great job, Wes. And everybody.
Happy Halloween.
I love the way we handled the entire shop with the cop and the toys. That was outstanding.
Good.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you guys for your support. We're only able to do
When
this thing,
I
because
guess,
you've done such a great
since
job.
I've got good 5 members of the board here, do you think we should have another meeting on these particular items soon, or
do.
wait?
I do.
Yeah, I think we should. I mean, do we know how much money we're talking about?
It's probably $3,000. My guess that if I had to just guess off the top of my head between the two programs.
I would like Jane to give us at least a report of how much they really need.
Sorry. I forgot Jane was still here. Sorry, I should have.
You know, they said they did. They said they did 81 families last year. They spent about $200. That's $16,000.
We did about 35 of that last year ourselves. About 35 came from our club.
If they're only able to do half, if they only have enough money to do half, that means they're about $8,000 short. And that also doesn't include, he talked about giving $50 gift cards to people to buy, dinners. I don't know how many of those $50 gift cards they give out, but we could be talking about, it's potentially $7,000, $8,000, $9,000.
Vince, we are not their only fundraisers. I mean, they also have other, I don't know if they've got people or community groups or other, sponsors or something. So we're not the only contributors to their cause. As Eileen said, last year we figured we gave between what was budgeted, the discretionary, and then plus our football square dollars and so forth. That came to about $3,500. So if we could at least match that, I think that would be pleasant, wonderfully pleasing. If we can exceed it, even better. So if the foundation could perhaps match what the club is giving with $1,500. The club is giving that. If the foundation can match with $1,500, and then we can use whatever funds that are personally being given, that would take us into $4,000 easy right there. And I think that would be blow them away.
Well, why don't we wait a couple days here and see how much the club come up with. I don't know how much that'll be, but
right.
we could certainly at least match that, and maybe exceed that. I mean, they're at least, even with all the other fundraising, that they do right now today. He said they were 50% short.
Because they could not do their, just like many organizations, they could not do some of their key fundraising events. Yeah. That's why they're short. Yeah.
Right. So they're somewhere in the neighborhood of $8,000 short now. So I don't know how much fundraising how much money they're gonna get from their other fundraisers, but anyway, I think another meeting is probably in order, Glenn. But I think we should wait a couple days and see how much money.
Well, it'd be more than a couple of days. It'd be at least next week.
Yeah, if we could wait till after Friday, because I'll make one more pitch for Shop with a Cop, and then maybe ask people to get their donations in, by the end of the day, Friday, for Shop with a Cop, and then we'll have a good number.
Yeah, good idea.
We could have a meeting afterwards next Friday.
Great, just like this. Why not?
And we have a board meeting, and whoever wants to attend can stay on the line, whatever. But I think, not trying to dissuade anybody, but when things come up off the floor, it's not good to vote on this stuff. It's good to, and let me know too, Gene, what type of dollars you're looking for. Because I think one of the other things we'll have to address is the Toys for Tots program that Roger has. Is that correct?
Right. Yes. And then we also will have another.
One more. Is there one more other one? Where's Eileen?
Yes. Yeah, we will be doing the same thing we did last year with the HEC and POC. We ended up last year doing some crowdfunding at a meeting, and a lot of us made cash donations and several in lieu of other Christmas gifts so that we could buy gift cards for food for 30 families at the Higgins Educational Center. And we did $125 gift cards rather than just limiting our adopt a family to 2 families. When we went to the PLC or HEC, they said we'd rather the $500 be shared. So what we did is we still did one family that we adopted. Holly and her friends did a Schaumburg family. And we just started with $500 for the POC and HEC, Higgins Educational. And a lot of people donated. Many of you were at that meeting. We did this great crowdfunding, and I think that day we raised like $2,500. And I know Don Minor's committing to at least $500 this year and maybe more. Several of us have already said we would put money into that. So it is. We've never taken money out of our budget for Toys for Tots. So I'm kind of surprised hearing that come up as something that we would want to contribute to. It had always been just on an individual basis with the Bloomingdale Club. But if people want to vote to take money out of the foundation to support that, great. But we never did that before. The ones that we did were Shop with a Cop and Adopt a Family. And then the program that sprang from Adopt a Family was the Higgins Educational Gift Certificates.
Can I say something about the Toys for Tots?
Well, I didn't know you were still on. Yes, Nancy's on.
I just want to say I was a little surprised with that one too. And my own gut feeling is I know that Toys for Tots give tons of sponsored tow trucks. We have a parade with over 200 tow trucks that are lined with $1,500 on each truck worth of toys. And that's just one organization. And my own feeling is this Shop with a Cop should be our preference versus the Toys for Tots. That's just my preference.
That'd be my thought too, based on what you just said, as well as our parent experience.
I think that's probably came up, and I don't know the history of it, but because that's the Bloomingdale Roselle cause that they go for, and since we do that shared luncheon, that's how that challenge sprung. So we're kind of jumping on the back of theirs.
Yeah, but they never do anything with us. They didn't even buy one ticket to our classic. I'm just saying. So I'm just saying.
I hear you.
Yeah. I think
right.
Well, anyway, being that said, you could see that where all of a sudden a lot of people get sympathetic this time of the year, and you can spend thousands upon thousands of dollars out of the foundation. And it's not a good thing to do coming off the floor.
But and maybe
we'll have a meeting. We'll have a meeting next week. We can talk about it as a board and then present it to the club, and everybody can discuss it. Gene, your program will go. That's definitely so.
Yeah.
Eileen, the part of your program, what do you call it, crowdfunding?
That's what
Eileen, that's been going on. I don't know about Toys for Tots. That was one that if you went to that lunch, you brought something or donated some money or that. But we got to be somewhat have a fiduciary responsibility and take a second look at this. We still have time, right?
Yeah.
What do
And
we
we
need?
do
Checks
have-
by Thanksgiving?
Yeah, and we
Is
do
that-
have that form, and Vince and Glenn, I have a copy of that. And, would you want us to maybe start the process in case there is going to be money being asked for? Maybe we start the process in a form so at least the wheels are in motion.
For which program?
Well, we could combine the ask. I mean,
let's not combine. Let's keep things separate.
okay, well, then
Since
one for
they're going
shop.
to separate areas.
One for
Yeah, shop with a cop
one for the
is separate.
the-
And the one you're doing, if you're going to do some crowd funding,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Yep.
Let's see where the dollars are needed after we've made these initial asks from these organizations.
Glenn?
And then again, we can also talk about Toys for Tots. We don't even know what they're going to use these toys, how they're going to bring the toys anymore, or if they're going to use gift cards anymore.
The thing about Toys for Tots, I believe is a nationwide drive.
It is.
And so it's not a localized thing. The shop with the cop. I mean, we're helping kids from Hoffman Estates.
Right.
believe.
There's no problem there. I think we'll do what we have to do with Shop with a Cop. There's no problem there. And the other program that Eileen has, I think we'll work with that. But I don't know about Shop with a Cop. That's my personal opinion. That's another Rotary Club deal, and I don't know how Roger got involved in that, but
Nancy, can you share with us anything on your adoptive family and the HEC? Because you headed that up last year beautifully. And I don't think we went back to the foundation for matching money on that at all, did we?
I think we did get, no, it was the club, I believe. And then we
Somebody-
did raise $2,500 at the club meetings. So we worked out really well. And if we could, if we're asking the people to give money now for the Shop with the Cop, perhaps we could ask the foundation, okay, could we have $3,000 for this families for the HOC? And I would also like to say, perhaps when we're talking about the Shop with the Cop, the foundation, we just asked them, will you give the Shop with a Cop $4,000, and anything we raise from the members would be a bonus. Then we don't know how much we get. We might get somebody who's very generous, and so that would just be extra that they could do with, because that is a local community organization that I think needs the things much more than an organization like Toys for Tots.
Well, we've been part of it for a long time, since probably 7 years now. And Alan actually brought this to our attention that long ago. And when it first started, they had 40 kids that they were working with. And Jean, you and Daryl have been involved with it since that long too. And so you've seen it grow from 40 to 50 to 60, and now they did 80 last year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. The needs are
Plus
out
they
there.
had enough money to buy
Community. It's definitely. Are you
Every
okay?
penny raised goes to those families, whether it's in the gifts, or whether, like they said last year, they had extra after they did all the gifting, and then they bought the food gift certificates so that the families could all have a good Christmas meal. So they go a long way.
So I think, Glenn, your plan is a good one, that after next week, I'll ask Gary if he can give us a total. Maybe he can stay on to our, the foundation meeting afterwards, because he's the one that can read how much money is in that Square account for Shop with a Cop. And then the foundation board will have a good idea how much that is, and what else you can contribute from the foundation.
And again, let's just keep everything separate, so that when if I would imagine we'll have to present some of this stuff to the club to let them know that, you know, it wasn't in the budget. These are the needs that we have. This is what we want to spend, and, you know, not just lump it all together. Okay?
Okay.
That plan?
That's good. Great.
Okay.
Thank you
Wes
very
says
much,
okay.
everybody.
Tom, just
Yes.
raise your hand. Vince?
Eileen,
All right, so-
amazing program, your program.
And if it's not an imposition on Wes, we continue this meeting. I'll make a notation that we'll have a foundation board meeting right after. We just stay on the WebEx.
No,
program.
it's totally good. I'm glad to be here and glad to see our everyone just caring about stuff. Really makes me really happy. Like everyone just it's pushing the ball forward, and we all need it right now. And there's just been a malaise in the past couple of weeks, and it's just good to see. I'm really effing proud of this club today. Really proud.
Great.
As we are of you.
And then just so you know, guys,
Good job.
to date, all the videos,
Wesley,
the videos are all there. Website, Facebook, emails have been sent with links. So enjoy.
Great. Good job, Don.
Thank you.
Wesley, I think you should be president of this club again in a year that's normal.
Yeah. What I think. How about next year? How about next year, Wes?
I do want another go at. I am really sore about it. I do. So thank you for that,
Okay.
Vince.
All right, we're going to
Appreciate
hold
your
you to
support,
that.
buddy. Thank you.
Take care. Bye, everybody.
Guys, have a great weekend.
Bye-bye.